Paying yourself first is know how much you need to set aside for saving, and then now whatever is remaining, now do it what? Split it into your expenses. Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. As always, for those who are new here, my name is Stella Muyoka, and my channel basically is about motherhood, finances, and just life experiences that we get through this, journey of life. So today I'm going to discuss, the other time we discussed about, how to be able to save up to a meal. And today, and based on that, I know most of you were asking about, budgeting, how to do a budget. So today I'm going to do a segment for you on a budget that works for you. Basically, on a normal understanding to you, what is a budget? But a budget basically is just a financial plan, a plan that is going to enable to actually make you, know where your money is going. Because if you know, basically it's a plan, it's a financial plan. We plan the money that we have. That is one. Whatever money you're getting, you can be able to plan for it. So that is one. Two, through planning of your money, you understand now where your money is going. So you can be able to track, and you can be able actually to manage your finances that you have. So basically, it provides a clear overview of where your money is going, how to prioritize your money, where to know where the money can go and where you can cut back on something. And through budgeting, you can be able actually to achieve your goals financially. So the importance of basically having a budget, one, is actually financial decision. You can be able to make choices on your money. You have, we usually say you need to have control of over your money, not money to have control on you. If money is having control on you, then your life is fucked up basically. So other than that, number two, to help you avoid overspending. When you know where your money is going, you will actually, when you know where your money is going, you're going to use random purchasing of things. People who have the impulse buying thing, impulse is what leads to overspending. So it's going to actually help you cut back on overspending. And two, it's to save for the future. We need to be, when we are saving and we are working, we need to know that our future, we can be able to provide for ourselves in the future, even if we lose the job or we lose the business at hand. And lastly, it also helps you to stay on track with the financial objectives. If I have a goal of having 10 million in 5 years, it is going actually to help you. It's a step. It's going to show you the steps towards getting the 10 million in 5 years. So how can you be able actually to create a budget that works for you? So for the first one, the first thing you're supposed to do, number one, how much are you making? How much is coming into you and how much is going out? So that is how you are supposed to track your income and your expenses. And the first key aspect, I remember when I was starting on savings and on savings and everything, the first thing that I used to do was I used to have a book that I would write down. Like today is Sunday. Today is Sunday on 14th. I'll write 14th of May 2023, and I will start recording each and every expense I had on that day and how much money I made within that day. And then, so it gives you a clear view of what you've spent today on Sunday and over the week, and now accumulatively now over the month. Okay, and through that it's actually going to, when you're recording and you know where your money is going, you can be able, it's a way of understand your spending habits. You can now understand how, what are you geared, where are you spending your money more and where you're spending your money less. It gives you that understanding of it. Number two, you're supposed to categorize your expenses. So we know we have needs and we have wants. So you learn to also categorize that. Like, for example, you categorize, housing, transportation. There are apps that do this. There are apps, like an example of one that I used and I loved it those days, but now it isn't working for me, was Reach. So you find that the apps that, instead of you can do the categorization in your own. You can use Excel sheets, but two, you can use apps. For me, I started with apps. One app was Reach. It will, you will see transportation, housing, eating out, shopping, personal grooming, and all that. It had that. So it can be a guide for you to be able to actually do that. Number two, you can use Excel sheets. When you just go online, go to Google Excel budgeting sheets, you'll find sheets that are already ready-made for you to actually use. There are those that you can buy, and there are those that are free to use actually. So this will actually help you actually to know where you can potentially cut back on spending. Number three, you set financial goals. Financial goals in the aspect that what do you want to achieve within a month, within 12 months, a year, or 5 years, or 10 years. That is how we create now a financial goal. So when you know, like I can say now I want to actually pay off a debt that I have. Maybe I have a car loan, or maybe I have a house loan, or I have a mortgage that I need to clear. So you want to say, like, in 5 years, I want to be able to clear, this loan. You can also look, maybe you're saving out, maybe you're saving actually to buy a house, or make a down payment on a house, or make, to buy something. You can say, maybe in like for me, I want to be able to purchase some few land and build up a house. So I already know how long do I need to do this, so how can I be able to reach to that. And other than, we also look at, maybe you want to build an emergency fund, which is actually very important, and I will do a segment on that also. You want money that is going to cushion you, especially when either you lose a job, or maybe our income isn't coming anymore. You need that cushion. It's very important. So you look it in the aspect that I need 9 months of my my monthly expenses in this fund, in this account, and you do that. That is another financial goal. And so basically you have to be specific. When you're specific, you'll be motivated actually to be able to to actually budget and save up that money. And other than that, you have to allocate your income. What portion is going to housing, what portion is going to transport, what portion is going to the basic needs that we have is on a daily basis is food, transportation, and housing. That is something we need. That is a need. So you start with that. You categorize with that. Whatever is important, you go. Whatever you need, whatever that you want, that is not that important. So basically, it will help you. It will help you actually not exceed. Sometimes not exceed your income. Sometimes sometimes you spend, and instead of having some balance on the account, which actually we've had an overdraft. You are now on negative. Negative basically reduces. You've already spent the money that you do not have. Now that is the point of it. So when you can allocate your money, you can know how much you can know whatever you need, your needs are catered for, your wants are catered for, and you can be able to know how much can I be able to set aside, and be able to save. Another point on budgeting, you also track and adjust. Tracking and adjusting basically is when you regularly monitor your spending and you compare it to your budget. Like if like I'm saying, when you're recording your expenses and your income, you will have an idea of how much you spend on a monthly basis, how much you've spent on transport on a monthly basis, how much you spent on it in 3 months, 6 months to a year. And when you're actually when you're looking at it, it helps you track your spending habits also. And when you're tracking your spending habits, you can know where to adjust, where to add, or where to reduce, or how basically helps you understand what you can do. It gives you that that power to be able to actually do a better budget, to know how best you can actually increase maybe your income, or how best you can reduce your expenses. So now we look at the practical tips. You can be able to practical tips of sticking to a budget. What can we be able to do to stick to a budget? Because I tell you for free, budgeting is very, very challenging. You can sit, you can sit somewhere, you can decide, you can know this is what, but actualizing it is usually where the problem comes. So the various tips you can use, to be able to actually make a budget and make it work for you. Number one, you have to be realistic. Realistic in that you have to set realistic goals. I cannot be earning 10,000 and I say, I need to have saved 120,000 within the month. Well, it means I'm saving all that I'm earning. So what about what about my expenses? So when you're not realistic, actually you'll be spending what you do not have. You'll find yourself in debts. And that is usually where we actually, when you start drowning in debts, you cannot be able to, budget and track your expenses, because a debt is like a hole. If you cannot be able to get out of, it's going to fuck up a lot of, your life choices and decision. So you have to be realistic on what your expenses are. You look at your expenses and see how much you can be able to allocate your expenses well, and see how much you can also be able to put aside. So we also use budgeting tools and apps. Like I've mentioned Rich. Rich is a good app that's going to give you a guide on how to. There are so many other apps, and an app that works for me cannot work for you. So you look at the various apps that are there, look at what can work for you, and use it. Nowadays we're digital. Doing an Excel sheet, unless you're committed to doing an Excel sheet, I would recommend the apps. they will give you a better guide on how to separate your money, how to separate your expenses, you know, and how to be able, you know, to be able to allocate them for different purposes. So and another thing about, you know, using the apps, anytime you want to check, you can, anytime because we always have our phone everywhere. Anytime you need to know, like, how you can track, anytime you can be able to track your expenses, your income, and also be able to adjust as well as possible. So it makes it easier for you to stick to your budget. And then we also plan for irregular expenses. Watu wa impulse buying. I usually have like some money set aside for impulse buying. I can see a beautiful dress and I want it so badly, but I haven't planned for it. What do? The money that I've set aside for irregular expenses, those are the irregular expenses, the impulse buying. When you do that, it doesn't mess up with your other budgeting. So set money, plan for those kind of, you know, or maybe you want to go on a vacation, maybe you want to just go for a spa. You know, sometimes you just crave, you know, that massage, you crave, you know, you need your nails. Maybe you plan to have your nails done once a month. Most of us do once a month, and maybe it had an issue. You know, we have to keep looking nice and pretty. You know, we are the gifts, and maybe you need to do it the second time, you know, and it's not within the budget for the month. So those are the kind of irregular expenses we get, and if you can really track your expenses, you will find that there are so many irregular expenses that you have. So always set a budget for that. And lastly, involve your family and partner. Share with your family and family members. Let them understand why we are buying 2 kgs of rice for the month. Why we are buying when they understand your budgeting and where your thought process is coming from, they're going actually to help you, you know, stick to your budget. Because, you know, I can buy 2 kgs of rice, or I can decide I can buy 2 kg of rice and maybe buy a pack of unga, because maybe I want to cook more rice than, you know, cook the ugali. So, and if you don't share with your family on that, you'll find that maybe you're going to deplete maybe use less of the, you know, whatever that is available there, and you have to, maybe you wanted to cook less ugali, and you find that you use more of the rice and forget. I think you're getting the point of what I'm trying to make. So it helps to create a shared responsibility, basically, and encourages accountability. So stay motivated. Always remind yourself over and over again about your financial goals regularly. I have a whiteboard where I placed the board on the wall. It has, you know, my goals, my financial budgeting for the month. It has, you know, my goal, my 5-year goal. So every time I'm in my room and I need to, you know, when I wake up in the morning, when I look at that board, I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do within a week, within a month. So it keeps me, you know, on toes, on wherever. And then and something we don't do is celebrating small victories. Always celebrate your small victories. It will actually encourage you, because as human, the more steps you make, the more encouraged you are. It's part of who we are. And so how often now should you review and update your budget? Do it as often as possible. On a monthly basis is best, because we budget mostly for the month. If you earn monthly is the best. Weekly is the best. Evaluate it review it and evaluate it based on your income actually, because if you earn on 30th, you have to budget for until the next 30th. If you earn every 2 weeks, every 2 weeks you're getting money, so you can review it every 2 weeks as best. And then lastly, what are the common mistakes you need to avoid for budgeting? 1, underestimating your budget or your expense. That is a mistake. I have done it. I'm like, I'm going to spend, you know, 10,000 on shopping, and then I exceed it to 20. So when you do that, actually, it makes you not be able to, you know, maintain your budget. And this includes, you know, I use 10 tissues in a month, and now I've run out of tissues, and then, you know, those two small things you buy. Oh, leo ninuka tishu kamoja, kesho nanuka maziwa kawili. You know, when you do that, it actually adds up. It actually messes up your budget. So, and once you mess up your budget, even once, you're not going to actually be able to, you know, maintain that budget. And lastly, neglecting your savings. Savings is important. And the one thing you need to always remember in life: pay yourself first. paying yourself first is know how much you need to set aside for saving, and then now whatever is remaining, now do it what? Split it into your expenses. Because if you can provide on no matter how little you earn, you can always be able to save. So you can always be able to save. So allocate your savings, because savings is what is going to be able to cushion you later in life. So allocate what you need for your saving, and I will tell you for free, no matter how little it is remaining, it is always going to be enough for you. So thank you for being here with me as always, and I hope you enjoyed the segment. You can always share, like, subscribe, and also share, comment down below on the experiences you have on budgeting, and also share ideas on and your experience on budgeting. So thank you. Bye bye.